For the countless times love has been written and sung about, it still seems that some do not understand. Love is not a bullet in a gun, nor is it a life insurance policy. But in the case we are covering today, they got it all wrong. They were greedy, they were short-sighted, and they were twisted. If that wasn't enough, love from a husband and for a child was taken for granted. It was used and shredded. I'm your host, JT, and this is Women on Death Row. Let's get into it. On the morning of November 4th, 2009, Lorraine Hunter called the trucking service where her husband Albert Thomas worked. She called in a panic. She was concerned as she hadn't heard from Albert since the previous night. When his truck was located, a coworker found Albert dead inside the cab, having been shot 4 times. Initially, investigators suspected a robbery gone wrong, but they later discovered that Lorraine's first husband, Alan Brown, had also been mysteriously murdered. Albert had previously been married to his high school sweetheart, with whom he had a daughter, Tina. He supported his family with a factory job and later became a truck driver. According to his daughter, he was a good father and a great provider. However, his time away from his home eventually strained his marriage, leading to divorce. After their separation, Albert started seeing Lorraine Alison Hunter, a childhood acquaintance. Lorraine had faced numerous hardships and tragedies. She was the single mother of 2 before marrying Alan Brown. They were together for 10 years, but experienced ups and downs in their relationship. During a breakup between the two, Hunter became pregnant by another man and gave birth to a daughter, Brianna Lachene Hunter, in 1993. Lorraine and Alan reconciled, but he was shot to death in 1996 in Inglewood, California. It was believed to be a random act of violence or an attempted carjacking, and no suspects were ever arrested. After her sons grew up, Lorraine raised Brianna as a single parent. They later moved in with her friend, Natisha Brown. Natisha described Lorraine as talented at cooking, sewing, and baking, and noted she was smart and quick to help out. 3 years after Alan's murder, Lorraine reconnected with Albert in Mississippi. He moved to California and they married, seemingly happy together according to Natisha. Albert worked 2 jobs to support the family and loved Brianna as his own daughter, ensuring she never wanted for anything. Brianna described Albert as a calm, quiet person, saying he was the only father figure she knew. On November 4th, 2009, Albert missed a delivery, raising concerns. His former supervisor, Don Moore, said Albert was dependable and never late. The truck's GPS showed it was in Moreno Valley, California, where a co-worker, Richard Segrist, found Albert's body inside the cab. Segrist immediately called 911. Albert's truck was parked where he typically left it during off hours, just blocks from his home. Investigators initially suspected robbery, but nothing was missing from the truck, and no shell casings were found. Detective Ken Patterson interviewed Lorraine and Brianna while canvassing the area for evidence and witnesses. The medical examiner determined Albert was shot 4 times by a .38 caliber revolver, twice in the back of the head and twice in the back. When Patterson spoke to Albert's daughter, Tina, she mentioned Alan Brown's murder in 1996, saying her family suspected Lorraine was involved. On the day Alan was shot, he and Lorraine were visiting her niece in Inglewood. While leaving, Allen experienced car trouble and was shot while checking the engine. Though Allen told police he was shot in the back, he never identified the shooter. Lorraine received over $300,000 in life insurance after his death, but no charges were filed, and the case remains open. Albert had a life insurance policy worth $225,000 through work, which doubled in the event of murder. When initially questioned, Lorraine claimed no knowledge of life insurance policies, but Albert's boss reported she inquired about it the morning Albert was found dead, which he found suspicious. Additionally, Albert had other life insurance policies totaling over $1 million, according to the Press Enterprise. When asked to take the polygraph test, Lorraine agreed, but failed to show up. A lawyer later contacted Detective Patterson, instructing him to cease communication with her. The case went cold until Lorraine's niece, Shanice Hunter, arrested for shoplifting, revealed information about Albert's murder, implicating Lorraine and Brianna. She overheard Brianna asking if they had to follow through with the plan, to which Lorraine replied they had no money, and Albert would leave them. Brianna, then 16, told detectives her mother had killed Albert. On the night of the murder, she accompanied her parents to the truck, where Albert retrieved a sweatshirt for her. As he bent to get it, Lorraine shot him in the back. Brianna admitted her mother had attempted to kill Albert on 3 other occasions and helped forge his signature on insurance policies, naming Lorraine as the beneficiary. Authorities learned Lorraine obtained a gun from a church friend to commit the murder, later returning it. A search led to the discovery of the .38 caliber revolver used to kill Albert. Lorraine and Brianna were arrested in October of 2011, and they were held on a $1 million bail. Both were charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy, with Lorraine facing special circumstances charges of lying in wait and financial gain. While awaiting trial, and believe it or not, Lorraine attempted to hire a hitman to kill her niece, Shanice, to prevent her testimony. Authorities foiled the plot using an undercover officer, leading to additional charges against Lorraine for solicitation for murder. In August of 2017, Lorraine went to trial for Albert's murder, with Brianna testifying against her mother. Brianna stated, "I don't want to be up here testifying against my mother, but it's the right thing to do after what happened." After 3 hours of jury deliberation, Lorraine, then 61, was found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy, with special circumstance findings of lying in wait and financial gain. A few months later, Lorraine was sentenced to death, following the jury's recommendation. Brianna pleaded guilty to attempted murder and voluntary manslaughter for Albert's slaying, receiving an 18-year, 4-month prison sentence. She will be eligible for parole in June of 2026, less than 2 years from now. In March of 2019, California Governor Gavin Newsom issued a moratorium on capital punishment, suspending executions in the state. Lorraine, now 64, and Brianna are incarcerated at Central California Women's Facility. Thank you for tuning in to Women on Death Row. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below letting us know your thoughts about this case. If you've liked what you've seen, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and then become a member by clicking the join button and get notified when each video in this series is released. Until next time, take care of yourself, your friends, your family, and your community. Don't let anybody dull your sparkle, and shine on. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Shine on.